Your point of view. Mom, I will not wear this dress, I said again to her, but as always, she didn't glance at me. The dress was beautiful. It was off shoulder bodycon dress with deep neck. I didn't hate the dress, but I am not in these type of dresses. I usually wear jeans and t-shirt. I don't know where my mom are going to take me. Yesterday I got graduate and she wasn't there. I didn't complain much because it didn't bother me much now. I'm confused about where we are going today. It happened to be very first time she is taking me somewhere with her, and that's not at all. She also bothered to dress me well. It never happened before. I'm very uncomfortable in this dress, but having no other option, I remain quiet. Let's go, honey. She chirped. I didn't know why she is happy today and her behavior is all nice. It was quite weird. I nodded at her and followed her. I want you to behave your best here. If I get any complaint about your behavior, you will see my words, he said, gripping my wrist tightly, which might cause a fury later. Tears were forming in my eyes and edges to fall out, but I controlled them, nodded her. After a few minutes of driving, we arrived at a lavish restaurant. I looked at the building. It was so tall and huge. My mom gritted her teeth, so I immediately looked down. My mom started walking and I followed her. As we entered the restaurant, a man came to us. Looking at me, he asked, smiling, "Ma'am, how can I help you?" I tucked a strand of hair behind my ear as I was uncomfortable by the way he looked at me. "We are here to meet Mr. Jeon," my mother said, smiling. "Oh, follow me, ma'am," he said and started to walk. We followed him. "Mr. June, who is he? Why we are here to meet him?" I was thinking about the meeting when I heard my mom's voice. "Mr. June, it's nice to meet you." Her extra sweet voice hasn't gone unnoticed by me. I looked in front of me and saw a man's back facing us. We were facing his back, but at looking at his back, I can say he was standing like he owns this restaurant. His shoulders were broad and he was standing so straight. He probably was taller than 6 feet. He turned after hearing my mom's voice. He was the most gorgeous. Man I have ever seen. My eyes were stuck on his face. He was looking at my mother. He put his hand in his pocket and his broad chest raised more towards us. God, is he for real? I was shamelessly checking him out, but as our eyes met, I looked down and gulped. I went red due to embarrassment. God, how can I? I was so ashamed of myself. I never behaved this way before. He looked at my mother and nodded. "Mr. June, meet my daughter," she said, holding my shoulders and showing me as a showpiece to him. He looked at me from head to toe like he was analyzing me. I looked down as I wasn't very comfortable under his sharp gaze. He took a deep breath and again looked at my mother, nodding. It was like they were eye communicating. I didn't understand a single thing. "I hope you like her," she said, grinning a lot. "Like her? What does she mean by that?" Before I asked anything or he say anything, his phone rang. He excused himself and I turned to my mother, who was looking a little tense. "Mom, what do you mean by like her?" I asked her. She looked at me and then smirked. "You're going to marry him, honey," she said, holding my wrist. I looked at her in shock. I got graduate yesterday. I had dreams. I want to fulfill them. I can't marry. With whom? Him? Before I could ask her, she said, stop running your thoughts in your useless pain. Yes, it is him, she said, dropping palm at me. Before I could ask further questions or deny this, he made his back to us. I looked at him in disbelief, showing how can this man want to marry me? Look at him and look at me. Mr. June, you like her, right? My mom asked again. How desperate. I want to talk to her. At the first time I heard his voice, it was so deep, manly, and husky. His voice alone gave me anyone on their knees. My mother nodded, grinning like a fool. I want to shout at her. How can she just decide to marry me off? They were 2% I never met. My mother went away. He looked me like he were burning holes in my body. I shifted a little. First this dress and now him. Him. I looked at him, but then looked down. I didn't want him to know my inner state, and I also don't want to look into those deep eyes. Miss Kim. He asked. He takes my name, and it sounds different than the others who took my name. Please have a seat. He gestured me to sit in front of him. I silently sat down. Any question regarding this marriage? He asked me coldly. I want to ask, but I was debating whether I should ask or not. Lastly, I decided to ask. Why do you want to marry me? I nervously asked him. It was the most important question I want to ask. He released a long breath and then spoke. I have a daughter. He dropped the bomb at me. I looked at him, want to say many more questions, but he stayed again to speak. I just want a mother for my daughter, and that's why I'm marrying you, he said. As soon the words got out, shatter all my dreams of being loud. I looked at him in disbelief. Look, Miss Kim, I know you are graduate yesterday. You have dreams, you can fulfill them. I can support you to the extent financially, but in return, you have to be. I will support you to extent financially. In return, you have to be the mother to my daughter. After the marriage, nothing will change. You will be just mother to my daughter, not my wife. He completed, taking a minute pause. He again said, pressing the particular sentence. A mother, not a wife. Okay, only mother, but not a wife. Currently, I was sitting in the car going back in the deep thoughts, and my so called mom was happy as hell. I didn't utter a single word after Mr. Jion's confession. I don't know how to react. I mean, how will I react when you will come to know you are going to marry and will be mother of almost 3-year old child? I didn't hate the kids. It's just I was nervous as hell. You can't blame me. I have never been with children. I want to back off from this marriage, but I can't. My mother already said rest from my side, and if I say no, she will taunt me by saying she did many things for me. She gave me food, shelter, which I never deserved, and all. I don't want to experience the horrible incident again. I just want to go to my room and cry my heart out. I don't want to get married, but I have to. Mr. Jeon told me that he will let me achieve my dreams and support me, but one of my dreams is to be loved too. I want a family who will love me and a husband who will cherish me. But I don't know if I will get this or not. I took a deep breath as I came to Hotel. I immediately came out, made my way towards my room, but my mother grabbed my arm and stopped me. Sana will be here in few hours to meet you. She informed me Sana is Mr. June's daughter Neem. I nodded at her, not wanting to talk more. I just went inside my room and buried my face into pillow to cry. I wasn't able to digest the fact my marriage, and here his daughter is coming to meet me. I don't know how long I cried, but when I was tired, I slipped into my sleep. I woke up with a loud thug voice. At first, I was scared that who will be, but then I remember it's my mother. She always knocks on my door like this. Sat up and went to open the door. As I opened it, she said, "Be ready, Sana is here." Emergency was clean in his voice. And why wouldn't she was Jion's princess? I nodded at my mother and went to bathroom. I splashed water on my face. I don't know how the child was. Was she bought or a disciplined girl? She was Jion's princess, so most probably she will be a part. I went to see my mother with a woman I didn't know. I can see something or someone was hiding behind her legs. Miss Kim, I'm Lily Sana's caretaker. She greeted me, informed me she was around 40. She seems to be a gentlewoman. I smiled a bit at her. She gently pulled a small girl rabbit in red frock. Can she look cuter? Oh my god, she was so cute. This small girl timidly looked up at me, then again clutched Lily's dress. Is she scared? Hey baby, come here. I cannot control myself. She was scared of new surroundings, and I don't want the angel to be scared. Wanna this? I asked her, showing her my shiny pins. She again looked up, then smiled a bit. God, her smile. My heart skipped a beat. I motioned her to come near me and she looked up Lily, probably asking for permission. Lily nodded her head and she came near me and took them from my hand and then started playing with them. I smiled seeing her, but then I heard my mom's voice. Spend some time with her, she said and warned me with her eyes. Come, Lily, let's have a cup of tea. Lily smiled at my mother, then turned her heels and went back. I returned my gaze to the princess who was playing with my pins and more. Ah, isn't she any part or anything? She is an angel. How wrong I was about her. I approached her with smile, then that came automatically. Hey, you like it? I asked her with smile. She nodded. Why isn't she talking? I played with her to make her comfortable with me. Eventually, I think I asked a question, but I didn't want to scare her, so I started saying something while playing with her. She laughed at my act, then again started playing. When she laughed, I became sure she's quite comfortable and asked something. I asked simplest question to her, baby, what's your name? I asked her, setting her up to my lap. I know her name, but I want her to introduce herself. June Sana, she said in her baby voice and looked up with question filled eyes. What happened? I asked her as she stopped playing suddenly and looked down. She didn't say anything, and then again I asked, you want to ask something? I asked her, lifting her face to me. She nodded her head. Yes. Go ahead. I told her with assuring smile, encouraging her to go ahead. She was silent for a few seconds, but then she asked something I also don't know. Are you my mommy? It was a whisper but I heard it. I don't know how to answer her, am I? I gulped at her question. I can't stay silent. She was looking me with hopeful green eyes. What do I do? She was looking at me with her eyes continuously. I don't know what to do. Then I decide to ask her what she wants. My marriage with June was fixed and my mom wasn't looking like she will back off, so as Mr. June. Can I ask you something? She seems disappointed but nodded. Do you want to be your mummy? I asked. At this time I was hopeful. I already love her. She looked like she was thinking hard, which made me feel sad. Then she said something that lifted my mood.